Streaming live from the John Paquino studio. This is the WHIT interview show. Call in and join the conversation at 201-589-0321. Here today in the booth, we have Jenima, president of the Black Student Union.
Hello.
We have Symira, myself, Kaiden Guilford. We have Kaiden, my good friend. We have Detective Tori Carter and her son. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Javon Hodges.
Javon Hodges. Right, and we'll get straight into it. Ms. Carter, how would you explain your field?
My field. Good morning, everyone. So I will say I am retired Detective Tori Carter. However, I'm currently the agent, financial professional at New York Life. I actually retired about 7 months ago from the Hudson County Sheriff's Office, and I am, like I said, now currently working for New York Life, pretty much working for myself as a captive agent.
Interesting. So in my research, I found that you have a degree in criminal justice and law enforcement administration. How would you explain the shift from that to where you are now?
So, unfortunately, I do not have a degree in criminal justice. However, I did attend Hudson County Community College in my later years of life, but I never graduated. Right after high school, I actually had my son, and I became a law enforcement officer. I went into the police academy, and I started my career directly after high school. I will say I enjoyed being a law enforcement officer for 27 years. It was a little bit challenging, but I enjoyed it. Although I'm no longer protecting the streets, my new career allowed me to protect people's future and finances.
That's nice. That's nice. Great question for Black History Month. Do you see a lot of other people of color in your occupation?
It's a little bit challenging with New York, working as an agent with New York Life. I do not see too many people of color working in this field, only because they don't have the knowledge. It has increased since I've been younger. I grew up in a environment, in a household where my family never talked to us about or talked to me about finances. I had to learn as I got older and surround myself with people who had the knowledge about the financial industry. So I'm just learning, and I feel like it's very important for me to pass it down to my son, well, my sons, and my family members, because you don't see a lot of us of color in the financial industry.
Yeah, that's great. I do find that being in the Black community, a lot of us don't speak very much about our financial futures. Now, what would be one thing that you would like to inform the Black community of regarding life insurance?
One thing I would say, it's more than just life insurance. I would say getting a policy is very important. A lot of people of color that I've seen do not have knowledge of policies, coverage, protection, building legacies and generational wealth for their families. We all find a lot that I'm finding, people of color, they run into roadblocks because they do not have the resources or the coverage or the protection to help their families when someone pass away or when they need to get out of that financial rut. A lot of people also don't know, of color, using policies can help leverage your your financial freedom in a sense. And I can get more in debt with it, talking about different policies, but in so many words, I want to say, for example, a whole life policy has cash value. A term policy does not have cash value. A lot of people are against term because it does not have cash value. However, for me and my family, I want to see generational wealth. Although it's a little bit more expensive, I say I want to invest. I want to break them curses. Investing mean I want to put money into not a large amount, but I want to put money into a pot to watch it grow cash value. So that way, God forbid, if something was to happen to me, my boys will um, have a good cushion to rely on. Okay. And a lot of people of color do not know that you can leverage that money, cash value, and invest in different businesses, or different opportunities that you have set for yourself. But again, people do not have knowledge of that. So as I learn, I pass the knowledge to my sons, my family members, and also my friends.
Anyone else have questions?
No, I actually have one about you talk a lot about your sons and your families, and I see that he's also connected to the criminal justice industry. Like, how have you incorporated your family into your work life? How has that been? How has that process worked?
Wow. So when my son graduated from, well, not even graduated from college, when he was in college, he was working at Best Buy. We actually had this conversation this morning. He's working at Best Buy. And I said to him, I said, why don't you take the law enforcement exam? And he looked at me like, Ma, I don't have the personality. I said, well, I believe in treating others the way you want to be treated. I said, I'm not, I'm just an ordinary person. I treat people with respect and I'm very successful at what I do. So won't you give it a shot? Take the law enforcement exam and see what happens. He said, well, I only have $60. I said, $60 to
50,
take that
50.
Oh, I only have $50 and it cost at the time, I think $50 or $60 to register for the exam. I said, I promise you, it'll get greater later. Just invest that $50 into taking that test. Once you take that test, you pass that test, I promise you're not going to regret it. And lo and behold, I guess a year later, 2 years later, he was actually called for the position, and he's been a law enforcement officer for what, 9 years?
Yeah,
Yes.
somewhere
Yes.
in between.
Yes. So, I try to instill in my young men, um, do not settle. It's better to have a career opposed to just having a job. Invest in yourself. Although things may be hard, but it's not impossible. Reach the stars. Don't settle for less. Don't become complacent. So that's what I instill in my boys. And if I did it as a young mom, you can do it.
Nice. I have one question.
Sure.
So being in the law enforcement industry, you're around a lot of different communities and a lot of different people. So do you feel like that experience helped you to transition into the insurance business and try and help people throughout their financial needs?
Yes, absolutely. So one of the reasons why I decided to get into the financial business, I was doing a lot of funeral escorts. And while doing funeral escorts, I noticed a lot of turmoil at the funerals, a lot of chaos. And it was a lot of families of color arguing over money. And they were arguing over money because they didn't have the resources or finances to help bury their loved ones, or they were stuck in a roadblock. So I decided I need to gain more information or pass the information I have and learn so that I can be also another resource to my community. You know, it's challenging getting people to find value in life insurance or the products that we have other than life insurance, such as 529's college planning. We also have long-term care at New York Life. So these are different resources that's needed in the Black community.
What is your favorite part about your job?
The favorite part about my job is helping people get learning new techniques and bringing it back to the community. And not only that, helping people with their finances. Um, Again, talking to family members, um, talking to friends. I just had a situation about a month ago. A young lady came to me and said, Tori, I need life insurance. I don't have anything for my sister. And she just lost her husband, but I need something. So I said, okay, let me see what I can do. How old is your sister? She said, she's in her 60s. I said, how's her health? She said, it's fair. I said, well, if her health is a little fair, the premium is going to be a little bit more expensive. However, let me see what I can do, and let's try to work in your budget. What's your budget? She said $50. I said, okay, it's going to be a little bit tight, but let me see if I can tailor something for coverage. So I came back to her maybe a day later, and I said, I can get you $100,000 policy for about $60 a month, which is, maybe about $10 difference, but it's something. At least, God forbid, if your loved one passed away, I said, you'll have something. You'll have $100 face amount if something was to happen. She said, it's a little bit tight for me. I said, I get it. But, sometimes we got to sacrifice, and we have to take away things that we want and prioritize things we need. Lo and behold, I told her, I said, if you're interested, call me the next day. We'll do the paperwork and so forth. I said, once you make that first payment, you're covered for 90 days until you get approved. But you have to get approved. She never called me back. She went on vacation. She texted me and she said, I'm sorry I'm on vacation, but I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I want to say maybe 2 weeks later, a week later, her sister passed away. So she had nothing. She called and she said, Tori, am I still able to get a policy? I said, unfortunately, you're not, because you didn't sign. You didn't do paperwork. So she had nothing to bury her sister. So people of color run into a lot of situations and problems like that. And I hate to see it because it causes a lot of problems within the family and the household. So again, I try to be that resource for the families, and I try to be that resource for different people who do not have knowledge on how policies could be leveraged.
I have a question for you, Javon. Seeing the path that your mother took from the industry you're in into the life insurance industry, do you believe that you will take the same path?
It's definitely an option. Since she started, with life insurance, she's taught me a lot of things. She's taught me a lot about policies, a lot of things that I'm gonna need as I get older. I don't have my own family yet, but eventually I am. And unfortunately, everybody does have a expiration date. So later down the line, I want my family to be set when I'm no longer here no more. So even as far as when I retire, it's definitely an option. She loves it, and if you could be retired doing something you love after retirement, that's a win. So it's definitely an option.
I also have a question for you. So being a child that went through college and had a mom that is obviously well-versed in her finances, do you feel that her wisdom helped you get through your college finances? And do you have any tips to help kids going into college, coming out of college with their finances?
Definitely. My mom preached to me something called the 5 C's early when I was you guys' age. I'll be 33 Sunday. So,
Happy early birthday.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. So going back 15 years ago, she always preached to me the 5 C's. She always said, have your credit right, have a crib, career, college, and cash. So, those are the 5 things she said. Even if before you want to bring another child into this world, but just make sure you have the 5 C's correct. So all through my 20s, instilled in my head, I gotta have a career, I gotta have cash, my credit. I think when I was maybe about 29, I think I reached an 800 credit score, and being that she taught me this at a young age, I thought it was. I'm like, I got an 800 credit score. I'm thinking it's something that more people often have. Until I went to a car dealership, and the car salesman looked at me like I was crazy, and I'm like, what's the big deal? He was like, I don't really see many people your age with the 800 credit score.
Mhm.
So, I'm definitely truly blessed. I come across, being the field that I work in, I come across a lot of people my age, older or even younger, that, just have no direction or don't have the resources around them or anybody to tell them or to teach them. And, I feel bad, so I'm definitely blessed with my mom teaching me these things at a young age. I would definitely say that.
All right. I would say, like in your field, you definitely serve the community, right?
Definitely.
After retirement, do you want to see yourself serving the community in a greater way than you are now?
In a greater way. So actually, I'm a big sports guy. So when I retire, I definitely want to give back to the community in a different way as far as coaching. So, I coached for a little bit. I loved it. I coached 9, 10, 11-year-olds. I coached high school kids. I also coached college kids when I graduated college. So that is definitely something I want to do. It's not something I want to do, just to say I'm a coach. I actually love doing. I actually like teaching kids, especially more so of high school, because I look back when I was in high school. It's so many things I wish I would have listened to my coaches with, or wish they would have taught me. I'm not saying I would have been the next Tom Brady, but I might have had a longer football career. But I definitely want to get back to the community by coaching.
And there's a lot of kids, and high school is a very malleable time in a child's life where a lot of decisions make up their future.
Yes.
And I feel like coaching is an incredible place to make an impact, because so many kids that play sports, either they make it or they don't. It's very black and white.
Absolutely.
So having somebody that has the information, has the knowledge, has the courage to try and push these kids in the right direction will always be a help to their community. I think that's a great answer, because I play college volleyball. I'm going to be playing college volleyball at Penn State.
Okay.
And a lot of my coaches have been amazing. They've helped me in so many different ways. Outside of the court, it's been a life experience with some of these coaches. And I think if you're able to do that, I think you completed your job, period. There's no saying, oh, this coach was sort of all right. This coach was amazing. If you're able to do that, and I really appreciate that you have a care for that. I really
Definitely
appreciate that.
And also to piggyback off of what you just said, one thing I like about sports is it teaches discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Discipline. One of my coaches told me, it stuck with me from when I was a junior in high school. I think I might have missed practice or I was late to practice. And he said, if this was your job, what would you tell your boss? And, I'm like, well, it's not my job. And he was like, well, these are values that you're going to have to use in the everyday world. So, that's something that I always stuck with. So, I do take pride in, showing up to work on time, doing my job. So, I definitely think coaching can instill discipline. And like I said, use it in the everyday world.
Mhm.
You're talking about transferable skills that you learn from sports that are helping you today. Are there
Yes.
any others that you would say help you the most?
Oh, yes. I work in a diverse field. My 9th and 10th grade year, I went to a predominantly black high school in Roselle, New Jersey, Abraham Clark. I transferred to a more diverse high school in Sayreville. That's where I ended up graduating from. My teammates came from all different races. I can close my eyes and talk to these guys, and it'll still be the same type of love. So I was taught at a younger age how to interact with people of different ethnicities, races, and it helps me. It does help me because I'm so used to it versus somebody who hasn't been exposed to a different type of race. So I would say that helped me. I would say being personable, learning how to take criticism. It's a lot. I would definitely say it's a lot. Yeah, it's like a broad thing. If you can narrow it down, I pretty much could go on that topic, but I would definitely say it's a lot.
All right, gotcha. And Ms. Carter, would you say that there are any experiences that you've had throughout your past that you feel have been great transferable skills into, the industry that you're in now, or even the criminal justice industry?
Yes. So as an officer, like I said, I love helping people. I love pouring into people, and most of all, inspiring people. With the insurance business, again, I still find myself helping people and pouring into people, inspiring. I always say, do what you got to do so you're able to do what you want to do. And right now, I'm doing what I want to do, and that's giving back and helping people.
Any other questions here?
No, I had one question in particular about family matters. Again, I don't know why I'm sticking to
Yes.
family, but I understand how important your jobs are to your lives and things like that. But what tips do you have for us who will be entering the workforce soon for ensuring that your your relations with your family still remain intact? You're still having as much quality time with your family as possible while still maintaining your career in the future.
Yes. Well, for me, I would say family is very important for me. I would say family first. However, you do have a job to do. Like my son said, don't be afraid to accept criticism. Learn from others. And your family, I always say, have an open dialogue. Be open with your family. Break generational curses in a sense. Do something that your family didn't do. Meaning, if you guys never sat down and ate dinner at a table, do that now. Do it with your family. But family is very important to me. And like I said, I just try to have an open dialogue and pour into my boys and talk to my boys as much as possible, my family.
Thank you.
I will say personally, I'm a huge mama's boy. I love my mama so much. So, what would be one thing you think that you've learned from your sons rather than they've learned from you?
Oh, I learned so much from them. Although I'm still mom and I still pour into them, I learned from them. When it comes to just last night, I'm saying, Javon, I'm calling him, come upstairs for a minute. I need help with the computer. I'm not a savvy person when it comes to the computer, but he's, teaching me how to log on, do different things on a computer. Not only that, we just have good conversation. Just how to just be a little bit more open. Just because I'm mom, don't mean I chastise you. You are an adult. We can have conversations. We can agree to disagree. And it's been times where I had to catch myself when he was going through that growing up stage or that midlife crisis stage. I had to catch myself and said, look, he's grown into an adult. I have to talk to him like a young adult, and I have to respect his space. So,
All right.
Are there any words you could leave with us, like words of inspiration before you go today, as kids about to travel into the real world and get real jobs?
yes, I will say stay encouraged, keep God first and foremost. And despite of any challenges, you can do it. You have to go through in order to get to. And again, it may be challenging and it may be hard, but nothing's impossible.
All right. Well, with that, we're out of the booth and we're going downstairs.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much
Thank
for coming.
Thank
and
you.
Have a good one.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching the WHIT interview show. Tune in to WHIT Podcast and YouTube and Twitter pages for more info and shows. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, guys. You guys were very good. This was my